One of, if not the most common request I get for dog training is a loose leash walk. Majority of people want walks with their dogs to be a nice, relaxing experience, but it's hard to relax when your dog is pulling your arm out of its socket. So why is this so difficult for the average person? Because they don't actually know what the real issue is. If you're in this boat, I'm guessing you've tried just about every tool in the book to get your dog to stop pulling. A flat collar, a martingale, a front clip harness, a gentle leader, a prong collar, a slip leash, whatever. And if you're still watching this video, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that none of those tools are working for you. Why is that? Because your equipment is not the solution to your problem. If you're completely dependent on the tool that you're using to keep control of your dog, there's something missing. What if that tool breaks? What if your dog slips out of it? Now you're SOL. So that's what I'm here to tell you. To help you understand things from a new perspective so that you can learn how to walk your own dog without hiring an expensive trainer. And yes, I promise everyone is capable of doing this. You just need some patience, about 15 minutes a day, and commitment. Tell yourself you're gonna make it happen and don't stop until you accomplish it, no matter how frustrating it might get. So, you ready? Let's dive in. This probably looks fairly familiar, right? Your dog's pulling out in front of you, going all over the place. Maybe you're even getting tangled in the leash because you're going back and forth. They're surrounded by stimulating things, sights, sounds, textures, and smells. Her nose is basically taking control of her entire body and her brain right now, which means she doesn't give a shit that I'm on the other end of the leash. Everything else around her is way more interesting than I am in this moment. She is so dead set on exploring with her nose that even if I pull on this leash, it doesn't really even stop her because her nose is just taking over at this point. So if this is what your walks look like, stop going on walks altogether because it won't get any better. Before we're ready for this, we need to take a step back. What I want you to do is focus on building some very basic engagement with your dog. Work in an area with minimal distractions where your dog actually does care that you exist. For some of you, you might not be able to leave the house quite yet, and that's fine. If you absolutely cannot get your dog's attention outside, don't continue to work out there because you're just going to get frustrated and continue to struggle. Now, my goal for this session is to make myself very interesting and worth paying attention to. My second goal is to not fall on my ass because the entire yard is a sheet of ice right now. Now, Scooter is very interested in food, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is basically just reward her every time she looks at me or follows me. Oh, something else you'll need for this is some sort of a reward marker, so you can use a verbal marker such as the word yes or a clicker. So we're teaching Scooter that every time she does something we like, she's first going to hear a click, then she's going to get a piece of food for it. Good girl. Good. Girl. Oh, oh. Good. We're out of frame here. Good. Now, if this is the first session with your dog, your results aren't going to be this instant. You're not going to maintain their attention for this long. There's a pretty good chance they're going to just grab the treat out of your hand and then immediately take off running and getting into something else, which is why we have a leash on her, even though we're in a fenced-in yard. We've just been working on this for a few days, so she kind of knows the drill. Good girl. It will probably take you a few sessions of this before your dog starts to hang out for longer. You'll notice over time is your dog will stay closer to you even after they get that initial reward, because they are anticipating when they get the next one. Scooter. So think of it like this. Let's say you walk past an ATM on the street and it just randomly shoots out a $100 bill at you. Initially, you're probably going to be like, what the heck was that? A little confused. Then once you realize what it was, you're going to get really excited. And then let's say you start walking away to go about your day and it spits another $100 bill out at you. After that second $100, you're probably going to want to stick around pretty close to that machine so that if it spits another one out at you, you're ready to grab it before anybody else can. Building engagement with your dog is the same thing. That ATM really didn't mean anything to you initially until it started spitting money out at you. Then it became very interesting. So now, to build the same engagement with our dogs, you need to become the ATM to make yourself more interesting and more rewarding in your dog's eyes. But don't just reward them for anything. Only reward them for the behaviors that you like, and only do it after they've already done it. Remember, we're not bribing them, we're rewarding them for making good choices. Practice in this environment until you can hold your dog's attention for 10 to 15 minutes straight. Then try somewhere new. And then somewhere new. Yes, good girl. Good girl. And then on your actual walk. And pretty soon, good girl. Yeah. Good girl. You'll find that you'll actually be able to go on a walk together